Good morning. Velma Hagar Restino. Here I am. This morning we're going to talk about favor with God. First of all, there's a generic favor or grace that every person automatically gets. We all get the same. But there's no doubt that when you look at certain people, you go, they seem to have more favor than I do. God talks about favor with God and man. And then throughout, he'll give you little promises that say, this will bring about favor with God. When it talked about, like, for instance, Mary, God, Jesus' mother, they said she was favored above all women. And then Cain and Abel, one of the brothers, God actually favored over the other one. So why? Why is that God shows favor to one and not to another? The reason is this. God is no respecter of persons, and he loves everybody. But when you do, we're all given there's a personal project that each one of us have in life that we are to fulfill, and it is to glorify and honor God. If you're a good singer, you're supposed to be singing for the Lord. You know that. I mean, it's okay if you sing out in the world for people too, but overall, that's why you have that gift. If you are a person who can handle money, you're supposed to be sharing that with God's world, with God's kingdom. If you take the gifts that God gave you and you consume them on your own lusts, or you put them in a hole somewhere and bury them, you know what's going to happen? You're not going to get God's favor. God gives favor to those who are operating in the gifts that he is giving them to accomplish the purposes that individual is supposed to be doing on this planet. It's really trippy. I mean, the more you play into your personal gift that God has given you, the more favor you are going to get from God. For instance, if you're given a favor, if you're given the gift of giving, if you have a gift that you are supposed to be giving, God, and you keep giving, God will supply that. If he can get it through you, he will get it to you. Does that make sense? So no matter what your gift is, if you're operating in it, you are going to have favor with God and man, by the way, and man too. When you find yourself that it just doesn't seem like people like you don't have favor with man, check and see if you're doing everything right. You might not be operating the way God wants you to operate. Because when you are, and you look at the old Bible stories, and I know a lot of you have not read the Bible, but I have. I read it from beginning to end systematically in a timely period 13 times. Right, I finished, started over again, read it again. Took me 2 years the first time to do it because I didn't just read through it to be reading. I read to absorb. I took notes. I really learned a lot. But then the second time I went through, I learned so much more. And the third time, so much more. Well, by the time I got to the 13th time doing it like this, I practically had a college degree in the Bible. And today, I hardly have to open the Bible. I know the words. I know them. I don't know the addresses. You can't say, where is that? I can't tell you that. I can tell you, well, it's in the book of James or the book of Psalms. But the numbers, I didn't do. I had enough to gather with just gathering the word, which is good enough. But look how I got off on another tangent. Okay, want favor with God? Ask God, what is my gift, God? What do you want me to do for you in your kingdom? And once you start doing it, and you really operate in it, I promise you, favor will come to you from God and man. And I started off on that tangent about the Bible because I was going to tell you about Joseph, who actually got thrown in prison and got favor in prison even. I mean, when you're on the right trail with God, no matter where you are, men are going to love you. And so will he. So I have to finish over 4 minutes. But until tomorrow, no, not tomorrow, twice a week, buy my book, Hidden Treasures in Secret Places, full of little treasures, just chucked full. Until next time, I bid you a blessed day.